Good evening. A little late. Not too bad though. Yeah. Turn that down a little bit. I'm gonna shift the fan just a touch. That way everybody doesn't hear it blowing completely. Evening. It's Friday night. It's getting warmer. It's really nice last couple days here in New York. Let's get my coffee situated. Once again, how about that Bellicor model? So we're gonna work on tonight. If I get to it, I'm gonna do some more of the plasma coils or the rest of the set. I've got to finish up Dark Angel Dreadnought Contemptor that I'm working on. I like painted partially of it, and then I'm kind of coming back and fixing some things. Last week I had done first attempt with green stuff, matter of fact. Not that it was very impressive, I just never had really worked with green stuff other than filling in gaps and then just joining some models together and stuff like that. So I just kind of wanted to fill in some different areas in here and here to sort of make it look like melted wax, because there was kind of a big gap and it was irking me. So and then we'll rejoin this. I tried to like gently pull it off, but once it's glued on, you're not even going to see the gap or the cracks, any of the damage and stuff. So we'll do that. This is actually something I want to finish up. Hopefully I'll get it almost done for a warlord thing that I always mess up his name. Cerantis. So let me just slide over here real quick. Just gonna turn the music down just slightly, just so everybody can still hear it. I'm just off camera, give me 1 second. There, you can see me. I just need to do a couple posts and some stuff real quick. So the what looks awesome is some of the fan fiction or the fan stuff that people had done for the what is it, Astartes and for Astartes and let me see here. I have to post something real quick. But yeah, Cervantes, I have to finish up for the vehicle or monster. So we're gonna see what we're gonna work on. Two things. One, it got extended, and two, I think it got extended. But I still want to catch up on this item right here. Finish this one up a little bit more. And then, but we're gonna work on this right now. So we're gonna get, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a brown. We're gonna get Rhinox hide, which is a base, and I just want to, let's see, let me find a brush here. Gonna get a 1, and then we're just gonna we're just gonna kind of get a little bit of dark in here. We'll come back and lighten it up. I just want to get the green stuff in here painted up. But we're gonna go start dark and then work our way up. I'm not entirely sure how to shade the candles, but we'll see. So there we go. Make sure people can see. But yeah, Friday night, it's starting to warm up. I'm starting to look at the yard and see things I gotta do that I want to work on. So but we want to get some of a base on the wax, or what we sculpted as wax, and then we'll lighten it up to a lighter brown, and then I think white candles will be good. That'll work out really well. Whoa! Look at you. Yeah. Thanks, man. If you want to use a washed and Seraphim seep. You think so? And then come back and do some layers on it? Or just water it down? Yeah, there was gaps that were bugging me. I had gotten some bits of candles, and it just didn't mate as well as I would have liked. So, for the you know, for the sort of reliquary look, and this was a conversion for a Dark Angel Contemptor Dread that I stole the design or idea from Praetorian Painting, I believe it was. So, rack pale witch flesh. Okay. Oh yeah, some off-whites. Yeah, that's a good idea. Da, 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 da. Did I get witch flesh? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got witch flesh. Deepkin flesh. Okay, yeah. It's a good idea. That's why you are the master. Everybody, anybody that's in here right now, if anybody's in here right now, Cervantes has a channel that is just awesome. Um, Subtle, yeah, okay. I've never painted candles before, so nothing to actually make it look um candle, other than just white, way back years ago. But I actually want to like try and make, challenge myself and do things in a newer way and try things out. So just trying to get a little base in there. Um, so we'll let that sit for a minute. So let's see here. Let me get a paper towel. I'm not following yet. Really? Oh. I actually got the alert to work too. Man, I am moving up. I heard that ding and I looked up and I didn't see it, but I heard it. So, and I think it showed. But yeah, everybody who's here or rewatches the video, give Sarantis a follow. He's got an amazing channel. Him and his partner do some awesome stuff. The good old Norn Queen. She keeps him in line. Is it? 75. That is weird. 76. Oh, Norn Queen just... Oh. Thank you. Let's fix that. There we go. Thank you. Alert box. We'll throw that up a little bit louder. It'll probably kill me when it eventually goes. Bottom bar. That's off. That's off. Alright. I think I got it now. I think I'm one ahead now. If you follow when you're offline, the bar doesn't go up. That's okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see here. Scrag Brown. Kirk Flesh. And then I think... Now what do you think? Work it from the Rakarth and up a little bit of Deep One? Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm still learning. I mean, again, I guess now I see why people pay people to do this. To keep up their social media. Let's see. Are you streaming tonight? Or did you just pop over? I know you being overseas, for me, you keep a much closer schedule to, oops, I turned that before. Keep a much closer schedule to, not that far. Here we go. Much closer schedule to me, unlike Mild Boy, who turns into a pumpkin after a certain time. Although Searle is probably up right now because he has a night job that he's doing from home. So Searle should be working on his stuff. Yeah, I agree. Do you know the deal with Searle? Like he was rushing his stuff, and Ryan from Mild Boys just decided to sat him down and explain some things to him, and he started practicing and slowing his stuff down. And just really started. Just he got it. He kind of figured out what his pace was. Listened to the techniques, looked at them, absorbed them. He hasn't been painting very long. Just I think some people just have a natural knack for it. Sickening. Just sickening. Alright. Is the deadline for this tomorrow? My painting is still all over the place. You know what? If it is, I don't necessarily see it. But I love your conversion work. It really does some awesome. You have a good eye for conversion work, I think, because some people do conversions, and you ever look at a conversion and just, you know, either you're not sure what they were trying to go for, even after they explain it to you, you're like, But I really like all the conversion work stuff that you do, especially with the Necrons. So for sure. For sure. Next week, Saturday 20th is the deadline. You got, oh good, okay. Well, I need to actually, you know, catch back up and get my head back in the game. Unfortunately, real life is intruding a little bit in my hobby. So, not fair. Won't it be great when we can, like, have normal lives again and go to a store and play a game? Go to a con. Oh, okay. Got it. I thought I did. Uh... Ooh, fire prism, huh? Devilfish. Alarith? Keeper of Secrets. Do you know if Venom's doing the new model? Oh, he probably is. Painting Lion, Nightrone, Nightbringer, Death Company Dreadnought. That'll look really good. What are you doing, Serantis? He's doing a third-party model. Oh yeah, there's some gorgeous models out there. I just got my my curing and washing station today, and tomorrow my printer comes. You're not pledging this time around? Yeah, I think. Well, you actually like do this for a job too, so I think you've got other priorities sometimes, don't you? gonna use the time to finish my 3 preview. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm gonna hit this with a little sepia after this. And just go in. Clean up a couple spots, I think. Do you actually ever sleep? That's the question I also have. Or is it like, do you draw the life force from small children? I mean, I'm not judging. Because, I mean, if that's what you have to do to stay alive, you know, so be it. But like every time I'm on, and my schedule is all over the place. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You do have sleep issues. So I feel for you. My sleep's all over the place sometimes too. But nah. Let that dry. Stone. Just gonna do a little bit of dry brushing on this base. Kind of like these. They're interesting. These Army Painter Mastercraft brushes, dry brush brushes aren't too bad. They're an interesting texture to them. But yeah, I did get my 3D printer wash and curing station. So tomorrow I'm gonna get the actual 3D printer. And we're gonna see. It's gonna be an addiction. No what? The last 6 days or so. Jesus. No what? No. No, you don't like the brushes? No. Oh, sleep? Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Serantis. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by. Give the Norn Queen my love. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll pop on when you're on stream. You get some sleep, brother. What am I doing here? I need a little watered down Seraphim Sepia. Get my wash brush. Let's see. Yeah, so anyone that was wondering, that's Serantis. He's got an awesome stream. Very talented painter. Very engaging. Does some good, some really interesting and really cool conversions. His partner is on with him quite a bit, or at least in the background, keeping him reined in. And we're doing a Warlords challenge right now. Doing different pledges to work on some different models. And see if I can get that to dry that way. And if you get a chance, definitely give him a follow. He's definitely a cool dude. Deserves the attention. Deserves the tips. Deserves the bits. Death by 1,000 bits, 1 bit at a time. All of it, you know. He does some commission work. I don't know if he's open for commissions, but I'm sure information is on his site. You can look at and take a look at that stuff. He's located in the UK, and yeah, he does some really cool work. So definitely give him a follow if you get a chance. He's been very supportive of a lot of the streamer community on here, and just very friendly, warm, very approachable, and just a good dude. There's a lot of I think there's, in the art community in general, there seems to be more supportive people, which is crazy. I've mentioned this before. The video game community seems to be the biggest draw to come to Twitch. You know, when you watch people play video games, and they have the massive amount of followers, but they seem to just be so much more cutthroat, and it's just so weird to me that with the much more ridiculous number of people on here to watch video games, they like seem more cutthroatish towards grabbing up those follows, and nothing at all like the art community, who is smaller and just very inclusive and great towards each other. So that's just a wild, interesting interpretation that I've seen. For example, but yeah. So this is these particular bits that I'm just breaking up time with while some of the stuff on the dread dries is a third-party bit by a Russian company, and I think they're labeled Deadcore, but they are basically Deathcore Krieg, undead models. and I'm just making them into like they're zombies. And I'm going to use them for Mortarion's base, so I'm just kind of painting them up in the 4/72 Fang Gray for their, I don't know how that is coming out. Like, this is the one guy crawling, maybe. Maybe it'll, there we go. Some zoom, maybe. There we go. That's a pretty good look. Yeah. Yeah. So, properties. Huh. But yeah, I'm just throwing a little bit of the fang on them, and eventually I will get around to doing more detail on them. The casts are really nice too. They came about 20, no, 10 guys. Came in a pack, and I guess it was about a $2 a guy, and they look like Deathcore Krieg, the Grenadiers. So I picked up a couple. I picked out a couple that had the look of like they were dead on the ground and they were coming back to life. So I'm gonna put them on Mortarion's base and just kind of just for some base decoration. I didn't use the standard stuff with Mortarion. Like his with the basing materials and designs that he came with. And then this is the other one. It's kind of like crawling. So I think it'll be interesting to have them kind of like just from his aura they were dead and now they're raising up. Yeah, I guess I can kind of see that where he's talking about that. All right. Let that dry. So we're gonna get the small brush here, and we're gonna work on. Still gotta finish him up. So we're gonna do some dry brush work on him. So we've got some for the base. We're gonna do some dry brushing. So we got some Steel Legion, which is a lighter brown. I want to get it all over the dry brush, and we're just gonna start going in here and working that. Base. It doesn't matter too much if we get it on the flesh cloak. So Nurgle's Rot. Just going in here. Kind of going along here. Kind of painting some different models all at once, so sorry if I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to finish up some different things and get some different models in their later stages. Now, Nurgle's Rot is kind of an interesting technical where it has a color in it, and then it's also got like a gloss in it. So I'll set him off to the side. So we're gonna let. I wonder if I can get this under there. There we go. Trying to get this glued to the base, making sure we got good solid. We'll come back and dull this down some. Just want to make sure that it runs into the cracks. Dry and go over there. Alright, so we're gonna work on these. We'll get the Deepkin flesh. Oh, thoughts on Warzone current. I don't know. I haven't read enough about it. I scanned it. It's got some Death Guard stuff in there, so that's interesting. I saw that there was some AdMech, but let me look at it again here real quick. I glanced at it briefly. Let me just finish up a little bit of this guy's hand. Little hand. Alright. Let's look. Let's take a look here. What do we got? little big. A little bit bigger than we want here. There we go. Okay. Maybe. I do right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yay. Alright. Oops. Oops. Put it all the way under. That wasn't good. There we go. Alright. Put it all the way under the bottom here. So, alright, let's see. Oh, I made it too. Alright. So, let's see. The war for Caradon sector is almost upon us. Furnace Heart. Furnace Heart, First Warnings, Triprong Offensive, Festus Clang, Gates Besieged, Typhus, Remission and Resurgence, Metallica Besieged. I know Metallica is the one of the Forge Worlds in the Trilobe. They have touched on some of this Warzone in the White Dwarf magazines. I do know that. So, Forces of the Imperium, Forces of Chaos, an alliance of Iron and Flesh invaders from the Empyrean. So that is obviously demons. Campaign rules, army rules, Cook Supplement Metallica. So that'll be Admech, House Raven, Freeblade Lance, Terminus Est Assault Force. Ooh, Fester Discipline. That sounds like a new psychic discipline. Codex Supplement Cult of Strife. Interesting. 460, the first captain of Death Guard. It's no surprise the orcs are getting stuck in, and Drukhari too. It's definitely loyal Imperials in the Karnan area. Campaign rules. Such as plague-blighted battlefields, as augmented areas riddled with the machine cult's blessings. That's interesting to always have additional rules that you can put into scenarios to play out in both utilizing ideas for narrative campaigns or narrative battles to actual just more scenarios. Sector Mechanicus terrain set. You can create wonderfully hellish place. Army rules. A Knight Lance of Free Blades or a Legion of the Cult Mechanicus. Unfeeling Automatons. New rules for armies of renown allow you to create a theme force based on several key players of a Caradon campaign, each with its own benefits and restrictions. This offers a whole new way to build flavorful armies and score yourself some extra relics, warlords, and stratagems. Oh, is Cult of Strife, is that a Drukhari force? sounds like that. Codex rule introduction. Metallica, Freeblade, Terminus S. Codex supplement, Cult of Strife. Crusade rules. Virulent Gifts. This would be perfect time for Lord Fox to vomit all of those plastic arrangements. Emma Galley, you're in luck. Frankly, there's too much stuff in this book to... Well, I mean, it doesn't really tell me... If you're doing campaign Crusade rules, that's great, but it doesn't really tell me... It seems like you're going to get a reasonable amount. Knights. Yeah, it looks like there's two different types of knights in there. House Raven is a knight house, isn't it? From what I remember. So I think, right? Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't have knights, so it's not really going to affect me all that much. But there's definitely some Nurgle stuff in there. So alright. I mean, it's definitely cool. Any additional optional rules that are out there are always a cool thing to have. For sure. I know some people complain about it, which I don't quite get, but, you know, hey. To each their own. I think it's good to have other options to do things with. I mean, nothing makes you have to use them. I saw a thing the other day in one of the, maybe it's further out than that, it's probably a week or two ago, and like it was a subject that was posted by a YouTuber. I don't remember what YouTuber it was, but it was armies you refuse to play. And I was like, seems a little extreme. But I'm not a huge tournament player. I do actually enjoy tournaments now with the new formats for ITC and such, but I can't imagine that there's any armies out there now that are that OP that somebody's just like, no, I'm not gonna play them. Especially if you're in a tournament, it seems a little a little excessive, you know, to be that much of a dick about it and be like, nah, I'm not gonna play them. Because there are armies now that may be OP, but they're nowhere near what the old OP uh, level was years ago. It just some of those armies used to be just absolutely ridiculous. So I don't know. I'd have to actually look at it or look it up again. I'm kind of curious now, thinking about it more and more. What armies those are, and what their reasoning is. You know, if they're just like, oh, it's just no fun. I mean, I guess if you play a certain style against them, and they're just like, oh, the meta's too powerful. Spider, actually, I think proved for a couple armies that were said that they were dead. Over on Tabletop Tactics, he even talked about a couple of particular armies that were far from dead, that people said were dead in the meta, and that he re-looked at them and thought he could actually, and I think he win with one of them, like a bunch of tournaments, because it's also your play style too. I think it's not just it's not just the rules. It's, I mean, yes, there are some armies that you hand somebody that they're practically have to be a child to not be able to play with them properly. But I'm pretty sure he showed us that with some of the right tactics, the right force, there are some armies that are still very viable. And I thought that was interesting because people would only play them a certain way. It's kind of sad that very viable armies that are out there still, people are just like, oh, no. Can just take a different look. Let me just throw that around. Take a different look at particular armies and say, okay, what can I still do with these? You know, because as new rules come out for other armies, newer armies, or they get updated, old rules will affect them slightly different. I mean, prime example, it's some people still argue, I don't know how, that the new what do you call it, disgustingly resilient is a big nerf. I don't know. I think it's a good nerf. And it also speeds up the game. So, and somebody's like, I think I read a post that was like, somebody that I constantly play armies with 2 damage weapons. Okay. Well, then play them with a different strategy. You can still tank them, but, you know, if they have 2 damage weapons, they're not going to be, they're going to be losing something else. They're paying more points for general 2 damage weapons. That's just the absolute truth of it. You know, so they're losing out on something else. What are they losing out on? Now, I think as the meta maybe starts to creep that more weapons pose more damage. There's one of the things that I was told years ago is don't take your best hand-to-hand combat squad and expect to go after another elite hand-to-hand combat squad and take them out. Go after a softer target with them. I'm just gonna edge the bottom of this with a little bit of the when I hit it up with some washes, it'll kind of blend it a little bit. I just wanted to kind of give it that sort of mud look. I gotta do some more metal on there. Alright, let me glue this on. Yeah, and you don't even see it. It wasn't the best way of trying to remove that, and it just snapped. I was like, alright, well, I'm there now. So, alright, so we're going to let this dry up a little bit. And then we'll go in and clean up the metals and things like that. Ooh, I hope that someone gets my... I hope that someone gets my... I hope that someone gets my... I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for that power sword. But we will. Yeah. Just darkening up the rust a little bit here. Yeah. I think a yellow too is what he was saying. Might be good. Fugue orange. Yeah. That was the other thing he said. Watered down an orange. Or yellow. So we're gonna do... on the candles. Yeah, watered down yellow does work pretty good. Yep. Very smart, Cervantes. Very smart. Alright. That work's not due to be complete till next week, so that's good at least. Alright. Ow. Put that back. Uh, Mechanicus Gray. Criminal. Rhinox. Hide. Talarn Sand. Alright. So we're going to take gold. Here we go. And we're going to go in and do the symbols and the trim on the back. So, if I can... Okay. Really need to start using a web palette again. Little holy diver. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh god, fine line work. Killing me. Holding my breath. Masquerade. My eyes are gonna go crossed. Whose decision was this model? Mine? Yeah. I guess I have nobody to blame but me. Ah. My God. I don't know what I'm thinking sometimes when I choose. Oh God, there's one on this side too. Oh my God. Hmm. Yeah, I really need to start using a wet palette. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. 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 May look up that armies that would never play. It's gonna drive me crazy. Mm. Alright, hang on here. We're coming up to this. Let me see here. So, Auspex Tactics is always a really good guy to watch. So I'm curious about let's see.
Players always have balance issues, and some armies are more popular to play against than others. But have you ever had a situation where either you or your opponent has said, I'm not going to play against that?
So we've got...
Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where today we're doing a bit more of a discussion related video about perhaps a slightly sad topic of when people don't want to play against certain things in a game of 40k. Basically, Warhammer 40k has always had balance issues, and over the editions things have waxed and waned. Sometimes you could certainly go into games knowing that there was absolutely no chance of winning, though to be honest, despite common perceptions, I would say that things aren't quite so terrible right now in 9th edition. I'd say the vast majority of factions do have a reasonable chance of beating virtually any other, by using their best combos and synergies, and playing to the mission as well as possible. However, as we all know, Games Workshop does have a bit of a history of making things very, very strong. Just at the moment, some of the things that are scaring people most on the table are things like Space Marine Eradicators, Dark Angels Deathwing Terminators, and Death Guard in general, particularly Mortarion. As you'll probably be aware, I do like to talk about some of the strongest things in the game on the channel, as I do enjoy the more competitive side of 40k quite a lot. On quite a lot of videos though, I do get the reactions saying, well, if someone turned up with this, I would just refuse to play them. For me, it does seem like a little bit of a knee-jerky reaction to powerful rules, and to be
Why?
honest, I think sometimes it's applied a lot more justly than it is for others. Some army builds can just be a bit punishing to play against. Say, for example, Eldar Flyer Spam in 8th edition comes to
Yeah,
mind,
that
or
was
perhaps Iron
that
Hands
was a
when they
little
were
bit
in their
much.
heyday, just being all-round stronger than some other factions. These sort of things you might genuinely go into a game thinking I've got pretty much no chance of this, so it might not be as worth playing, but sometimes I do see people using it for things I'd consider much more minor, say such as a powerful character build, such as that Dark Angels Chaplain one that I talked about a week or so back, people saying that I'd refuse to play this, when in reality, even if he does hit pretty hard, he's quite easy to kill in any one fight phase, and he would take an enormous amount of investment in terms of warlord traits, relics, and command points. I also suspect it might be a bit more of a common thing to say on the internet as opposed to in real life, and maybe a bit of a psychological thing trying to punish the players who get strong rules for their faction by making them suffer a bit of a social penalty even if their faction is going to do very well in game. I suspect that not that many people are actually going to refuse games against someone who they know and like, even if they are playing a strong army, and you could always have the pre-game discussion saying, would it be okay to rein things in just a little bit so my army has a bit more of a chance? Just for me, in an actual real-world game of 40k,
See, for me, I never really play for like the OP. Uh, Deadright will probably back me up on this one. 90% of the time, I'm playing a game and building a list that I just like. I may not always. Um, I may not always build it to be OP, so I don't think that it would be a rough time playing against me. I mean, there's going to be some lists that obviously like Death Guard in general, like he said right now, are pretty tough, and they're a different play style, and people are trying to figure out how to get around them. They're beatable. People are beating them. Um, I mean, again, it's not a list or an army that is impossible to beat. People play them poorly too, and like with any kind of army that's out there, you play to their strengths and try to avoid their weaknesses. But um, you know,
I think that refusing to play a game outright seems to be a bit of a drastic choice.
yeah,
I
it
can see
does.
why some people might want to though, and I thought I'd gather a few thoughts about why people might want to or might not want to in this video. So why might people decide that playing a game of Warhammer 40k isn't really worth the effort then? Generally, it's because someone's appraised the game at the start and decided that they're just not going to have a fun time, and if they're not getting other things like good social interaction out of the exchange, then you might not want to spend a good 2 or 3 hours playing a game if you're not
See, one of the guys that posts further down in his reaction, I've never refused to play an army, but I have refused to play people, and that I agree
going to
100%.
have fun with it for whatever reason. Playing 40k is a hobby, not a job, and if you're not having fun, then there might be not really all that much point. I think one of the main reasons that can really sap the fun if you really think that you have no chance to win, or even if you do have a small chance to win, but it's just not really a fair fight
Yeah.
between the one army and the other. Say you're playing one of the factions that's struggling a little bit more in the game right now, perhaps Tau or Craftworld Eldar, and someone turns up with one of the strongest tournament lists around, maybe a tournament optimized Death Guard or Harlequin list for example, but you just can't see a reasonable solution to killing a lot of the units. It's really not all that hard to get disheartened when some armies just do have it a fair bit easier, and
Yeah.
it can certainly sap the fun a bit if you know that no matter how hard you try or how hard you outthink, then there's pretty much no chance of your army getting the upper hand. Another reason why people might not want to play a certain army, even if the army strength isn't necessarily all that strong, could be if there's just not really going to be an interesting in-game interaction. Certain armies are just a bit less popular to play than others. Things just like going up against a shooting gallery gun line on a very open board. If you're playing a melee army, you're likely to get shot to bits, and the only real interaction is whether or not your troops can make it across the board into the gun line. I think skew lists are a bit less popular to play as well. Things like an army entirely made of super heavy vehicles, such as Imperial Knights. I know they really aren't all that strong.
No, they're really not all that strong now. But I reading this as Gunline Knights Extreme Hordes. I kinda would like to see, especially because I'm a Salamander player, uh, who I wish I had more flame weapons. I would like to kind of, just for curiosity's sake, to fight a horde, just for the fun of it. I mean, an orc horde has its own fluff to it. I mean, that you can't really argue with. A horde army of Tyranids has some fluff to it. You know, a gun line of Tau. I don't know. A gun line on an open board, though. How often are you really going to be on an open board now? That's part of the meta and the way the game is going. Like, why would you not have terrain? Anybody that sets up a board with like minimal terrain is kind of being cheesy. Uh, in my aspect, there's a certain way you want line of sight blocking terrain in the center of the board. It's plain and simple. That's just the fairness of it. Um, so I don't. I've seen people and I've played against people that put like minimal terrain pieces out there and like, okay, here we go. And it's like, well, hang on a second, we need to put some more line of sight blocking. And they're like, well, there's no way my units are going to be able to shoot you. Well, that's part of what the game is. Is there's no more easy alpha strikes on turn one. It's not supposed to happen. Um, and even then, the alpha strike is a lot more survivable now on turn one. So, but I think playing a couple of the ones that he mentions here would be kind of interesting, maybe ridiculous, but still.
Strong right now, but
Same
certainly
army
to pass when
repeatedly
you
does
brought
get
some of those
annoying.
top things. The only real interaction was whether you brought enough anti-tank weapons to down the knights.
Profoundly against lore and fluff can break immersion. I agree with that. Limited time means sometimes you might have to choose.
Or
Okay,
you
yeah.
deleted your entire army. At the other end of the spectrum, some people don't like playing against really extreme horde type lists. Thinking
It's
back
kind
to
of
the
fun.
last edition a bit, it wasn't uncommon to see an absolutely enormous army of plague bearers on the other side of the table.
Oh, you can't do that
It's often
anymore.
going
Or
to be a
maybe you
lot of
can.
time with the other player moving and playing their army, and you might just know that you've not got enough anti-infantry weapons to clear them off the objectives before they just score them all game long. I think more so than this, I think just playing the same strong army repeatedly is a real turn-off. I'm sure all of the above will be quite fun to fight against once or twice, even if it is a weird game. But say if you're playing nothing but extreme horde lists every single time you take to the table, it could just get a little bit wearing and
Yeah.
not be quite as fun. I think this might be some of the problem with Space Marine lists right now. So many people run them and they're really quite strong that people just get a bit tired of playing of them and often would just rather play something else. Otherwise, people sometimes just don't really like things that are profoundly against the fluff or lore.
There's not.
Immersion a bit. Some people just really aren't interested against playing unpainted armies, and whether or not the person asking for the game is actually likely to give you a fun game. I think the attitude of the person that you're playing against can really make a big difference as to
It's
how
disappointing
fun
to play
is for both
unpainted
of you.
armies.
I think any of these could be
It definitely takes it away.
factors as to whether you really want to play, but the main reason is that you kind of have limited time to invest in your hobby. You might have a choice between different opponents in 40k, or you might just want to choose to do something else with your free time if you really don't think that the game is going to be fun. Focusing back on army power levels and unbalanced games though, I would just like to mention a few things for why I would very rarely refuse a game based on how strong an army is. In 40k, something will pretty much always be the strongest. Obviously, we'd ideally like it to be more balanced if possible, but at least with the frequency that Games Workshop updates the rules these days, most armies do tend to have their time in the sun, and just over 8th and 9th edition alone, pretty much every army in the game has had its turn when it's been the strongest thing. One day your fluffy Dark Angels Deathwing Terminator army could be about the worst thing that you could field in the entire game of 40k,
It's
and
true.
then one new codex drops, and then suddenly they're the latest tournament hotness. I also perhaps think that some people underestimate just how well certain armies can be countered, either via some good decisions in-game, or just tailoring your own army to the meta and what sort of armies are likely going to be playing against. Slow-moving but powerful armies might be able to be screened out with good use of your units, and you might even be able to just ignore certain units, except
And they've talked about how to
and focus on winning
beat
the mission and
or
keep
eliminate
everything you can.
Mortarion from the
Even
game.
really quite underpowered armies can be quite an annoying to play against if you play them really defensively, hide loads of units out of line of sight terrain,
Taking him
and
out of
only try to
position.
pick and choose the battles when you can fight them. Taking a list to help really counter the meta can be really good as well. If Space Marines are everywhere on your local scene, loading up on a list with a lot of high damage, high AP weapons could be good. Or if everyone's loading up on those high damage, high AP weapons, maybe bringing a few more horde units to make them fairly redundant could be another decent option. A lot of the power builds will also need to make some sort of compromises in list building. No one's going to be able to field every single powerful option available to their own codex. They have to pick and choose, and often some armies can just be a bit scarier on paper compared with the actual things that they can deploy in any given game. Perhaps above all this though, I really quite like playing against strong armies in 40k. as even if you are beaten horribly, you have the chance to learn and get better as a player. I think most people will learn more from a defeat than they would from a victory, maybe reassessing the power of your own units and how you might have used them a bit better in game. I also find having a go at taking down the latest tournament cheese is really quite interesting, knowing that you're already on the back foot and having to deploy every single sneaky trick available to your army.
Give me 1 second.
Army can be quite interesting and can really be a test of your mettle as a commander, even if it's not something that you might want for every single game. Just more generally though, I think it is important to be able to enjoy Warhammer 40k even if you are losing. Even if you're performing exactly average in every single game, you're likely going to be winning half of the games and losing the other half, so I think it's important to be able to enjoy a defeat as well as enjoy a victory, even if most of us do prefer to win. So just for some of
Yeah, I
my own
agree.
opinions, I would try and aim to play against almost anyone in any list at least once, and ideally a fair bit more than that.
Agreed.
You might not know how to deal with it the first time it comes up, but hopefully with some tactics and strategy, you might have a bit better luck. Otherwise though, I think if people can try and aim to refuse less games, it is generally going to be better for the hobby. You might miss out on getting to know some really good people, even if they are bringing some cheesy army lists. I don't think it's particularly helpful to make people feel bad for the faction that they play. I often see people getting a bit disheartened down in the comments on my videos when people say, well, I'd never play against that, and then they say, oh, I just started that faction, are people not going to want to play me? And I think that quite a lot of the issues, if you're really having them, could be resolved with a bit of a pre-game discussion. If you've already been drubbed by your friend's power list 3 or 4 times, maybe just request that they tone things down a bit, as it might make for a bit more of an interesting game for both people involved. There's all sorts of ways to shake up a game of 40k or make it a bit more interesting,
It's true.
either with different mission types, narrative game modes, or just building some slightly more unusual fluff lists that don't use every single optimized unit that an army has available.
That is true.
In any case, I'd really love to hear your thoughts about refusing games, when and if you ever should or would, and how we can make games of 40k, both competitive and casual, more enjoyable for everyone.
Oh, wow, the video's almost over.
So anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm definitely looking forward to reading your comments. I found the topic quite interesting to have a think about myself. If you've enjoyed the discussion and would like to see more like it, feel free to
Let's
subscribe
see.
to Auspex Tactics, where we'll have more like this, in addition to our...
It only pisses me off when my opponent lies to me and says their list is casual when I'm upfront about playing a casual game. You want to play a competitive game, be upfront about it. Okay. I would never refuse to play against the list, only a person. I play Blood Angels casually, bring more Sanguinary Guard than exists in the canon. Man, playing Imperial Guard against my friends sure is fun. I've lost 5 times in a row against the same list. I simply can't claim 5 victories. 4 orcs never lose. I'm not sure. But imagine having enough 40k players in your area to be able to turn down a game. Kind of do. Build good lists with all the meta units. I like my bikes. I never said I'm not playing that, but I've said I'm not playing him. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with refusing game. No is a complete sentence. I gotta see the replies on this one. If I'm gonna be a loser, it will be from throwing dice and not refusing to even try. There were 2 kinds of. Oh well. Salty. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Alright. So that's interesting. That is an interesting thing. Auspex Tactics I really like because some people don't like his voice, I guess. It's weird, but. Oh. Look
In
what he breaks down.
1992, 7 strangers got real.
You just called me a racist.
Okay,
So
anyway.
new themed art.
So look at what we have here. By him as well.
Armies of Renown, and 3 mini codex supplements in this book. Today let's talk about the contents page for Warzone Charadon, the Book of Rust.
Yeah, that's
Hello
all
and
he's going to
welcome back
talk
to
about.
Auspex
Alright.
Tactics.
Okay. Let me hide you. Alright. I got some new water. Let me get Carbonite. Ooh. Green. Yes. And then new paint. So pretty. Let's see what this looks like. It's not bad. It's going to turn into the highlight, I think, for this. Maybe. Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Got it watered down quite a bit, so. Hmm. Interesting. All right. We'll come back to you. Let you dry a little bit. Well, let's do that test. Let's get some music rolling here. Oh, of course. Why are you not working Spotify? I don't know what's going on here. Alright, so let's go to... A little loud. A little loud. What's that? Howdy, no luck on the bases yet. What, you didn't get them yet? You didn't buy them? Or they just didn't get there yet? I've been calling Monday, they haven't shipped them. Where are they at? The UK? Or the States? They haven't shipped them. You ordered Monday, right? Well, were they ready to go, or does he have to pour them? Because Dragon Forge, he usually has to pour the bases, so... I'm not sure where they're located. Dragon Forge, for me, it takes a little bit... Usually it takes like at least a month turnaround for my bases, just because he's a single-man operation. I don't know how much... how much specifically, just send him an email too, probably. They might have to pour. Good evening, by the way. Happy Friday. Generally, if they say they are pouring, then they should be on a list of wait time. Yeah, Dragon Forge, he actually has like a whole breakdown of where he's at and what orders he's gotten to in his news thing, so I know. Just try and be a little more... Oh, sorry, I moved it again. Just try and be a little more patient, just because this year has been crazy for everything. So sometimes resin orders, Dragon Forge, it takes him longer to get his resin than he used to. Although again, he did post about it, but yeah, they got some great designs, so I wouldn't go out. I'm completely like off the handle yet, but you know, I mean, they may apologize. Oh yeah, I'll figured you'd be polite. But they may apologize with extra bases, so that can't hurt either, right? But yeah, Deadrite really liked their whole layout of their the way their site was, because it shows like it's very easy to pick through their stuff, and they show pictures of it. And, how was your week? By the way. Good, bad, so-so. What do you think about the community picking up the tab, or essentially making Astartes official? Several, actually, like four or five. Thank you. It's a ripoff of a design somebody did. It's it takes an Age of Sigmar like lion chest plate that's on one of like the Dracolith things, and I took I liked the before I had an actual Dark Angel Contemptor. I like the design this guy uses. He does a lot of conversion stuff way before the official Dark Angel stuff came out. But yeah, thank you very much. I'm kind of happy with it, but the candles were a third-party bit. I can't remember who they were from, but I put them on there, and there was too much. There was just a lot of gap, so I went in with some green stuff on Monday, and it's the first time I ever worked with green stuff and attempted to sculpt, which was it's a learning experience. But not that I did anything complex. It's not like I was like, you know, sculpting a miniature from scratch on a base or something like that. But so I wanted to kind of make the like a drippy candle wax kind of look, and fill in the gaps, because it didn't quite sit right, and they stuck out a little bit off the lion chest piece, and so there's like nothing Dark Angels in here except a couple bits on the sides, and again, it's for 30K. It is not for 40K, because the Dark Angels in 40K are not as cool. Not as cool. I'm gonna need doors and for rhinos and possible Land Raider. You're doing Death Guard, right? Because you were getting those rotten bases. Because I just ordered. Well, my biggest thing that came, I completely, and this also I blame Dead Right for. My washing station. You can't really see it over there. It's in the corner. It's right. It's this thing. That right there. It's my the washing and curing station for my 3D printer. So way too much money. But I think in the long run it's going to save me money, right? UV and rinse, yeah. It was the 2.0. Both the rinse station and the mono, which is coming tomorrow, was like with shipping was $486 American. It's the Anycubic, and I watched some reviews on it, and there were pretty good reviews by some miniature printers. And then I got the resin, not filament. And then I got the Amazon. It's cheaper to get the resin from. I heard the Creatality one was really good. I get there again with Google and everything that hears you nowadays, Facebook and all the metrics. I hear that one's pretty good. I'm tempted if I was going to get a filament printer, and I think it was resin printers were expensive. Because Deadrite gets some of the prints. It's gonna. If I'm not using it, Deadrite will be like, hey, print this. I would use a filament printer for terrain. Matter of fact, I got this from, and this is okay. I don't know how well the camera's going to see it, but this is one of the ones I bought. from Etsy, and I'm not exactly hugely happy about it. It was only like $10, but you can see a lot of lines in it, so I might sand it down some. But it's a cool tree, but it's just, I don't know. I might just coat it with liquid green stuff or something, just because there's the frame. But it was really cheap. But I think this, obviously, on a resin is just going to be so much better. There's a lot of string. Yeah, exactly. It really is. So this is... But some terrains I could see, like if you're doing rock, this might add, the texture might add to it if you're going to do a dry brush or something like that. But on a tree, obviously the stringing would be better if it was going with the... But we'll see. I don't know. But it was cheap, so I was curious. But yeah, so the smaller version of the Anycubic was sold out, and the wash station was sold out as well, because they put the mono was like the next version, and the 2.0 wash and setting station was the next. So they yeah, buildings have come out well. I have a 3D printed building. I think it's just a matter of how well the person understands the I just dropped something. What was that fell? Oh, it's just a tombstone. Yeah, I got a building here that's, you know, it's a 3-level building, and it seems fine. It's reasonably fine. Not done yet, but, you know, it's definitely, you can see how fine that is compared to, and I think Dedrick was telling me also, it's definitely, it's a matter of going into the program and doing less lines and things like that. You definitely see a difference. Like, he was trying to be cheaper, I think, or is new to the 3D printing world in a sense. So I was like, whatever. You know, you get what you pay for sometimes. But now comparatively, like, I'll probably start off doing icons and some different things. For, yes, it does increase print time, but it's even easier with my printer. Yeah. I can't remember who I watched. It's the guy that's like, how do guys? He's from like the Sheffield area, I think, in England. But he does a lot of different terrain, and he's got, he does a bunch of different terrain, and he's got, I mean, he also gets sent the printers too, so, by the companies. So he's tested out a bunch. He did reviews and talked about resin, that it really, he's used every kind of resin that he's got, you know, has options for, and he was just like, yeah, just don't use the water soluble. I hate that stuff. It doesn't work out well. But everything else seems to be, he had some really good advice. He said, oops. He didn't say oops. He said even failed prints, he prints them and then undercoats them to learn from the mistakes. And then some of it, obviously, like, you can save for like terrain for later on, maybe, you know, because some, depending on what you're printing or basing, you can save it because it would, you know, if it looks like it's broken up, or you can snap it. I think we're gonna be good with that. Alright, so let's get some Mephiston. That tree, if I was doing it, would have been double the price, but a much smoother. Yeah, it was cheap, and I was like, I am not gonna get a good item. But I was like, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what it is, how it is, and such. And yep, it's about what I thought. So, but yeah, so it's cool. I'm very happy to finally pull the trigger on that one. Um, I kept putting it off and putting it off because it's, it could be a decent chunk of money to throw out. And I was like, for everything that I'm starting to do and look at and want for 3D printing, it seems like a bit of a waste for me to put money out, um, to other people than to have my own uh, printing stuff, essentially. So I was like, oh. So, but I like it. It'll be good. I think it'll be real good. Where is that stuff? It was, what did I use for the eyes? I used the stone? Waystone. Technical. There we go. Displays for your video games. I'm not really sure I understand that. Don't take it the wrong way, I just don't really understand. Displays for your video games. Like what kind of, how do you do it? Jesus. Short of 800, just short of 800 games. Okay. Um, like how do you do, the displays? Are they themed? Or are they just simple and, do you just make stands? Or do you actually like... I have a lot of loose Super Nintendo games, and they fall over if you don't have something. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They're like top heavy too. It's weird. I hadn't thought about that. I had not thought about that. Where are we at here? Let's see. Oh, edging. How I hate thee. How I hate thee. Yeah, finishing this up for that Warlord challenge that I'm in. So it's good. It forces me to work on stuff. I probably do things so backwards sometimes, I think, when I'm doing this painting. Oh God. There we go. That's a little bit better. I was like, I can't hold it. I can't hold it. It's funny, I have a bunch of wet palettes, like 2 wet palettes here. And what am I doing? I'm still watering down the paint here, and I'm not using the wet palette. Japanese version, damn things are around. Yeah, that's right. They do have a slightly different feel to them, and I think some of the Japanese ones actually look cooler, if that's possible. They just seem to be to me. We're taking some Druchii Violet, and we're going to work it onto the rotor cannon, or the the assault cannon, to kind of give it that heated barrel look. Purple and blue are really good to do this with, and you get an actual realistic look, like there's been a lot of rounds fired through the cannon. So we're just gonna leave that to dry, and we're gonna build it up a little bit, and then the front will be blacks and browns with the carbon, and then the barrel, as it progressively goes back, it goes purple to blue and stuff like that. So we're gonna go back in to all this and clean up the metals with some slightly different, like in here, like we did with the Power Fist. Actual boxes were a lot nicer. Yeah, they took more time. Washes work really good from an airbrush for shading. I know. I gotta learn to use my airbrush. I know. No. I have 2 airbrushes and a compressor, and I just need to finally bite the bullet and learn it. I know. You're not the only one, man. Yeah, I've watched a few people actually spray them through with an airbrush. They dry a lot faster too, so you don't have to do the buildup like I am. Where is my blue? Oh, here we go. But I know. Yeah, I'm liking them more and more. I'm just gonna break them up with some more colors and some other details, because I think I don't want them being too solid dark. But so we'll go in with some I think some Rune Fang, actually, to brighten this up, to make this a little more of a different color. So we'll see. You know, but I didn't want to overdo it with the what do you call it, the Dark Angel bits. But I thought that lion faceplate was actually very good, especially for batch painting. Yeah, for sure, man. Japanese version, actual boxes were a lot nicer. And see, now I gotta to Google it. I vaguely remember it, and I remember seeing them. Oh shit! I just closed that out. I didn't mean to do that. My royalty-free music, no. It's actually kind of like that song. Oh, now in English, really? Oh! I see what stands you're making, too. I think I see what stands you're making. Is it something like this, too? Was it showing? Like that stand? You want the starter set right there? There's people that stream playing the games. I mean, you know, yours are flat. Look at that collection, huh? 800. I didn't even know there was 800 games, though. It's crazy. Oh! No. Right? Because they're round? Is that how they are? Maybe. There's a Willow video game? How good can that be? Hmm. Ooh. Interesting. Oh yeah, I agree. Like if you're gonna be interested in that particular thing, and you can print them yourself and design them yourself, you can do what you can figure out what the designs are yourself, and do what you want, for sure. I get it. I completely get it. Um, yeah, and if I'm looking for particular bits or something like that out there, that's why I'm just like now I'm like, I finally broke down, like I said, and um, decided maybe it was time to bite the bullet. And plus some of my fellow streamers, talking to them, they're just like, "Oh, dude, it's some of the stuff that you'll want to do. It'll take minutes, you know, no time at all, So just pull the trigger, do it." And I was like, "All right," but looking at different. All right, that'll be enough blue. All in all, I need 15 of them for different games. 15 is cheaper. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I believe you there. I believe that. Yeah, a few of the people out there, streamers that I'm pretty tight with, I guess. It's they have a ton of files too, and they're like, "Oh, dude, we'll just set up a Google Drive, and you just get what you need from it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like the one guy's got like 4 terabytes of 3D streams or 3D STLs. And I was like, well, I guess I can, if I have to, if I have to, so, sure. Mm. Yeah. I would print that up if I was you, cause I just seeing them now, man, is just how good some of the prints come out. That was one of the other things, seeing them, and then just how well they were, the detail. You can't, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's still some models that I will probably still get from GW. But because resin is a little bit more brittle at times. Although Pop Goes the Monkey was in his newsletter I just got. I guess he is making monkey resin. I don't know if you're familiar with Pop Goes the Monkey. And I was like, he's making his own resin. Interesting. It's still like $300 in resin, but still, 100% still buy official stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's some things like the new Bellacore. I will buy that model. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet because I don't really have. Well, I guess I thought about doing Demons of the Runestorm for 30K. So I probably will do him because he would have been around back then. He would have been around, I mean. He's like the first Demon Prince. I kind of wish they did an origin story of him like they did with Archon, however you want to say it. Oh, God, I miss so much stuff in this. That's fine. That's why I'm coming back through. Like they did an origin. It was like 2 books, I think. It's been so long since I read them, but could always play 40K. I thought Belcor had a book. Did he? Maybe he did. Oh, now I gotta look. It's your fault. All your faults. I guess I could kind of say this is done now, but it's not. I could submit it to Warlords, but at least I'm further along in it than I was. I'm gonna have to do some... Like, I painted it up a little faster than I should have, and then I washed it really heavy, and too heavy, I think. But now I'm going back and cleaning up some things, and it's turning out to get that grim dark look too, I guess. But that's why I'm saying I'm like completely did this like with such a ridiculous process. Like I over it doesn't make any sense, but maybe he does have a book. The book might be old, yeah. I don't know if it's that old though. I sort of remember it being around recently. Let's look. He's massive though too. Yes, I meant Bellacore. Oh no. Yeah, he was not anywhere near that big. But he's like the first Demon Prince, so... See, this last one wasn't as bad. The first one was worse. Like, there's a few incarnations of him. ISBN 2013. Let's see if we can still get it. Goodreads. (2013). Yeah, well. Yeah, it looks like that is actually a book from 2013, probably on eBay for a ridiculous amount. Redunculous. I wonder. Where is it? Let us try. Let's try this. I don't know if this is gonna be as good as I think it's gonna be. I don't know. It's the soot, black soot. Trying to get like the built up carbon. We'll see how this dries out. God, I used to remember scraping that stuff out. Ugh. It's like solid. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, I guess I understand. I'm just thinking about the Finecast thing, you know, like where they were, like, was it one of those ideas that they were like, it's good on paper? Like, I mean, most of us that had messed with, Forge World kind of knew that resin had its issues. But there's still some models that you can only get in Finecast too. So, oops, too far off. Unfortunately, yeah, there's just not enough detail in that, so we're gonna go in there and pick out some stuff. Let's use some of this. Where did that? There we go. Yeah, it's if like they wanted to do something else and it just failed miserably, or you know, like what happened, or were they like, yeah, it worked out as designed, you know, people will be okay with this, the flaws in it, or I don't know. If that's, you wonder, you're like, but if you work with Forge World and resin and stuff like that, you know that resin has problems. It's just, unfortunately, that's part of the spin around. That's part of what occurs with with resin. So, but I don't know if I forget, because I think I was like not on a hiatus, but I just didn't need anything in Finecast from them. So maybe, I don't know. Draken inside, darken the inside. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm darken inside of you. Yeah, we're getting around to it. I think I'm gonna do, you want me to do it with the soot? You think? What do you think? Yes, no? If anything should have soot, it should be that, probably, right? Oh, is it still? Yeah, that's right. That's the other thing, is when the weathering powder is dry, you can just add water and bring them back to life. I just don't want to spill them. What do you mean already too dark? Which... Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can work it a little bit with some water and thin it up. Yeah. Good thing is you can take it off pretty easily. Because it is just a powder. But it comes off pretty easy. Yeah, I'm still learning with these powders. A lot goes a long way. So, for sure. Well, the delay's there to... I'm surprised that you have a delay. Being a mod, I thought you were... I thought you were free from that delay. The drive. What about that? Better? Answer me! It's like a minute, it's like a full minute delay, I think, from when you type. I think I might be able to turn that down. I think I can. I think I can. Huh. I don't know. Oh, okay. I thought I can... Oh, wait. Here we go. Chat settings. Oh, look at that. There's a whole thing of settings. Wow. Holy shit. I gotta go through this. Review, manage moderation settings, block hyperlinks, non-mod chat delay. Non-mod chat delay. Adds a short delay before non-mods see messages. Alright, so you can see chat rules, unban requests. Oh, I don't know. Alright, we'll look at this later. Oh, what is this whisper? Why are you playing unlicensed? Oh. That's it. Ban chatters, moderation tool. Ah, we'll go. Oh, God. Let me close this out. Help. Creator updates, notifications. Twitch. How do I shut this? How do I shut it? How do I shut it? God. Shoot, how do I shut this now? Okay, alright. Whatever. Oh yeah? Interesting. That'll be interesting. Yeah, that's a lot thinner now. I went a little too heavy. A lot, like I said, a lot goes a long way. But yeah, working on it. Lot more little details I want to add, but I think this will be a good submit for the Warlord challenge. I think the drippy wax works, right? Looks good on bases for molten. Oh yeah, okay. That's gonna be kind of cool. And there's this guy still. Although at least we're moving along. I'm gonna have to do some washes on him soon. Gotta figure out that sword. But it'll be alright. I'll be alright. What are we at? Almost 3 hours. What's hard to see? Which one? Looks wax. Oh. Well, it's kind of the white stuff dripping down. How's that? A little better? You have to be able to see that. If you can't see that, I don't know what screen you're looking on. Because I'm looking right now. Oh, okay. Alright. I was like, shit, man. I can't be any clearer. So, I used the watered down yellow and Seraphim Sepia and then went back over it. So it kind of has a subtle look. I guess the green stuff work does it. It's not like I went all crazy with it. There's a couple more spots I think I can hit it up with, but not good. We're coming up on 3 hours. I think I'm gonna call it for the night. What we got here? Let me see who's on. We're gonna raid somebody real quick, so just bear with me. Let me see here. Refresh. Let me see somebody that I follow here. Oh yeah. Uber Demon. Maybe Uber Demon. Oh. I don't know. Let's see here. I want to give somebody some views, you know? What is this? Soul Bandai. Alright, we're gonna raid Uber Demon. Just hang in his chat for a little bit if you can. He's a good dude. He's trying, he's doing a startup. And then I think it's raid. I think. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Ah, there we go. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it. Everybody have a good night.